So wouldn't it be nice if you had an idea and in a few minutes you were able to turn that into a track? I know a lot of producers will wake up in the morning or they'll go for a walk and just literally invent the greatest song of their lives, and they don't know what to do with it, or they might hum it into their phone, but they literally will forget it, and that's just such a pity. And what I'm going to do in this Ableton tutorial is show you ways to grab that idea and turn it into a track. And Ableton's seriously got the tools for that, and yeah, and I'm going to show you how to do that right now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create 3 audio tracks. The first one will be a drum loop, and the second one will be a bass line, and the third one will be a melody. And these are just ideas that I've got in my head, and I'm going to literally sing them, I guess. So let's have a go at the first one. I'm going to switch the track off. You can still record it, but you don't hear what's going on because I don't want to hear my voice at the same time. There's definitely going to be some latency because I'm recording this video. So let's give that a go. And let's go. Okay, I think that last one was supposed to be a clap. Now let's have a quick listen to it. Okay, on my computer there's some latency, so let me just readjust it. So just literally move them into place. Now let's have a listen. Okay, you've got that little clap in there at the back. So what I like about actually doing things this way, let me just move this at the beginning, is that you have not just recorded your idea, which is a beat idea, you actually got a bit of groove in there, because everyone has their own natural groove, so it's not perfectly in line at the moment, but you have recorded it, which is cool. So let's get the second track going. I'm just going to duplicate this so I've got all the microphone settings right. I'm going to remove what I recorded before. I'm going to get rid of the metronome because I don't want to distract, and I'm going to record the bass line. By the way, I have no idea what it's going to be, so there might be a couple of rounds here going before I actually record it. Okay, so that didn't sound like a bass line, but it was deep enough, and it felt like a bass line. So let's listen to it together with the beat. Once again, there's a little bit of latency. Maybe too much latency here on the beat as well. Let's just get them into line if possible. Right, so that's your bass, and I'm going to now copy that into this, duplicate this audio track and delete that. And now I'm going to hopefully come up with a melody. Now I might need a couple of loops in before it works. Okay, that wasn't the greatest, but it's something, and it's just to demonstrate how to do it, really. So let's listen to that. Just getting it in line. Right, so there you go. It's all done. So the really next important factor here, and this can make or break what you're doing actually, is you just want to make sure that that it's actually all synced up and in line. I'm going to just go to adaptive grid medium just to make sure that it lines up actually with the start of the loop. And actually it doesn't. So that's kind of not great. So let's just move that all across. So I'm just going to select all three of them. Just move that so it starts at the beginning of the grid. Because believe me, you'll have massive issues if you don't get that bit right. So let's just move all of it so it reaches the end. So this doesn't. These other two, they do. So I'm going to just cut these two off. And the last one just didn't make it. So I'm going to select the whole loop and press Control J to consolidate them all so they're a perfect loop. So the next thing I will be doing, and this could take a bit of time, so I might speed through this, is I'm going to turn that initial beat into, let's do it now, into a actual drum rack. So you right click on the loop, the audio loop, and then you click Convert Drums to New MIDI Track. Let's do that now. So as you can see, Ableton defaults to a 606 drum track. This is not necessarily what you want to end up with, but the idea is to turn that loop that you've recorded with your mouth into an actual MIDI loop. So let's just listen to it. So as you can tell, you'll need some adjusting. And also, I've never really been a fan of how they convert the hi-hats, and I could just maybe get rid of them all. But let's just have a look. Just click fold. Let's just have a look. So it's only created 3 tracks: snare, kick, and hi-hat. So it's missing the kick right at the beginning. So let's just put a kick right at the beginning there. All right, so that's the basic drums. I'm not going to change any of the sounds yet. I will do that a bit later. What I'm going to do is I'm going to just now deactivate my beat, my audio there, and now I'm going to start working on the bass. Now let's listen to that again. Okay, so let's that doesn't sound great, but let's just move that into MIDI by converting that into a new melody MIDI track. Right, so there it is. Let's listen to what's come out. It's probably going to be a bit of a hot mess, but let's listen to it. So it's kind of got the notes, which is cool. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to just spend a bit of time editing it. So wait a minute. Okay, so I've come up with something that is a little bit better. It's not quite right. I just want to hear what it sounds like with the beat. So let's just do that now. can see they don't really line up, but that's the groove of my mouth. Maybe that's what we want. So let's just... So it doesn't sound very bassy at the moment. I'm going to just lower them an octave. So once we kind of got them like sounding kind of okay, then you want to just select them all, which I've just done, Control A, and just quantize them. This is a bit risky, but let's quantize them to 16 notes and see how that looks. So there's just a tiny tweak we can make here. So while it's not perfect, it's kind of comprehensible. So let's just move on to the third thing, which is the melody. So right now, remember, we're not doing any sound design. I'm going to just move this other audio just to the top there so it's out of the way. And yeah, I'm just going to unselect it. Now let's listen to the audio, the bass with the melody that I had created a bit earlier. Still sounds like a dog's breakfast, but we're going to get there. So let's now convert my melody. This time we're going to use convert harmony to new MIDI track. So if I feel like we're getting somewhere in terms of the fact that now all of the audio that's come out of my mouth has been completely replaced by MIDI. So the next thing to do is just to start messing with sound selection. And I'm going to do that a little bit offline, and I'll be back in a second to show you what I've done. Okay, so I've been able to construct a song with the MIDI that we had before. It took a bit of time, and that's why I've not shown you what I've done. But basically what's happened is I've added some VST synths to the melody and to the bass to get some sort of more solid type of sounds. And in addition to that, I rendered them all, froze them all, and turned them into samples, actually. So I'm working with samples because I prefer to do that. I also recorded a bit of a background vocal to give it a bit more context. The song itself is a little bit repetitive, so it probably still needs work. It probably needs a chorus and a bridge. But let's just hear how it sounds like at the moment. I actually sped it up a little bit as well. Just hear what it sounds like. And, it's not for everybody. It's a little bit of kind of a jazzy, funky type of song. But it's just to demonstrate what you can do in Ableton. Holding on to love, holding on to love, feel the stars of love. Hey, holding on to love. You want to grab the idea, put it into the system, create a song. So yeah, that was really fun. I really enjoyed doing that for you guys. And if you've got any questions, please put them in the comments. If you've got any ideas for future tutorials, I'll be very interested in hearing what they are. And if you've got any questions about this specific one, just let me know and I will try and help. See you later.